Hello there, welcome to Skyber Hacks. Today in Bash Programming episode 4, we will look at awk, which is another powerful tool that you can use when you write Bash programs. I like to think about awk as something that helps me deal with column-based data, and I will show you what I mean just in a second. So the first use case is that you have a file with data in columns and you want to rearrange them, reorder the columns. So here on the left hand side I have my phone book, and if I do cat phone book, you can see here the output on the right hand side. You can see phone numbers and names, and let's say I would say that I would like to have the names first and then the numbers. And I also have another problem here, is that I have some places I have 1, 2, 3 white space. Here I have more. Here I might have a tab character and so on. And awk makes this so much easier. So I can cat my phone book, and then I do awk and I say print, and then I want column 2 first, and then I want column 1. There. That was easy. So now I have all the names first and then numbers. Very good. And you can see all the white space has been sorted out. There is one slight problem here, and that's that the comment is still there and it doesn't really make any sense, and it only did the second column, so I got the mine first and then I got the hash afterwards, and it's just messy. So I want to get rid of that. And awk has this thing which is a preamble, so you have like the slashes, and there you can write the regular expression to filter out the lines on which you want to act. So here I would like to have all the lines that start with a number, because here you can see here on the left hand side they're numbers, right? So I can start with, I want everything that starts with a number, so I can do starts with, and then I want to apply print column 2 and column 1. There, excellent. So without the comment, and now I have all the names first. And then if I want to sort that, I just pipe that to sort, and now I have a sorted phone list with names first and numbers afterwards. Very, very powerful and easy to work with awk. There is another way to do it, of course. You can use sort. The sort command, it has a -k option, which allows you to sort on something else in the first column. Like normally sort will just, if I have the phone book here, and I pass that to sort, it sorts numbers on the first column. But let's say that I want this to be sorted on the names in the phone book instead, and then I can do -k and then 2k for column, kind of. And now you can see Anne comes first, Ruben last. But of course there are a couple of problems that sort hasn't taken care of that awk solved for us. One is we don't want the comment. Of course we can do another grep to get away with that, but here you have also the white space nonsense, which is messy, and awk just solved that for us because it understands white space. You probably, you just want a space in the output. So compare that to the awk solution. It's a lot tidier, and you have full control over the columns. Another use case for the rearranging on columns is to convert an authorized keys file to an approved signers file. So I'll just briefly mention what an authorized keys file is. You may have encountered this if you're reading the man page of SSH. It talks of a authorized keys file, and this file, as you perhaps know, is when you log into a server, that any public key which is in this file is allowed to log in as this user on this machine without entering their passwords. This is a way to get password-free login, and of course it speeds up logging into various servers immensely, and it's more comfortable, and it's also more secure because you don't type your password all the time, so it's harder. If someone has to install a keylogger on your machine, they won't so easily catch your password. So that's authorized keys, and then we have something called approved signers, and that's less known, but you can read more about it if you open the man SSH key .gen file. That's the command that you use to generate this public key and private key. There's also something called allowed signers. And what I use it for is that I sign my Git commits and then I write code to verify the signatures of all the Git commits done by me and my colleagues. And of course, anyone can sign a commit, and it's not necessarily that everyone that can provide a valid signature is allowed to sign commits in this repository. So that's where this allowed signers file come in. And Git can then use that to look up the public SSH key, which was that was used for signing commit to see if it's actually an allowed one. So anyway, that's background for that. If we now have a look at an authorized keys file, so here I have on a server, and there are two users that are allowed to log in to the server. One is torstein at Quana and John at Geronimo. And the allowed signers format is slightly different. So if you have a look at this, here is the authorized keys file that I just showed you, and this here is the allowed signers file. And the difference is that the name at machine at the end, that's the key here. So I basically want whatever is here, but then I want the key first, the name first, and I want to ignore the comments. So back to here, I want to ignore the comments, and then I want Torstein first, and I want John first, and then I want the rest. So let's do that. So cat.ssh like that, and then I use awk, and I say I want anything that starts with SSH, and for that I want to print the third column, and then I want the first, and then I want the second, and I want the can't type the third. There, excellent. So say I got Torstein at the front, and then I got the rest of the line afterwards, and the same for John. So that's very cool. 1, 2, 3 there. So that's all the columns. It's the entire line. So awk also has this thing you can say, just put the full line there. So now I have column 3 first, and then the full line, and the results are the same. But naturally, if there are many columns, $0 is a lot faster to type. Okay, so that's what we did. We read the authorized keys file, and we filter on anything that starts with SSH, and then we print the third column, and then first and the second. Here, as you can see, I do a different thing. I have a space between, and here I just had a comma. So both works. Second use case I want to show you today is how you can count all the occurrences. Well, count all the oranges. So I have, let's say, range. So I have the output on the right hand side. There we go. So I have a fruits text file. Whatever fruits, and I want to count how many oranges, how many bananas, how many apples are in this file. And now this is starting to get more complicated, so I like to write this in a dedicated awk file, so that's also possible. So you can call awk on the command line, what we did here, but you can also have dedicated .awk files. So I'll make a fruits.awk file, then you need a shebang like anything else, and then you do your thing. So let's say I can let's put the input up here, so orange. Okay, so we want an array, call it fruits, and index is the first column, and increase that. So awk does everything for us. If the array wasn't there from before, it will initialize for us, and then the first time it encounters orange, it will be 0, it doesn't exist anymore. So then afterwards there will be 1, and then second time it encounters orange, there's already 1 orange there, so then there will be 2, and so on. When we are done, we have an end, we also have a begin, but end, and then we can iterate through all the fruits. So we can say fruit for fruit in fruits, and then we can print, we want to print fruit, and then the fruits, fruit, there we go. Okay, so this is pretty magic. So this operates on all the lines, right? So this here executes on all the lines, and once it has done it, processing all the lines, then it iterates through this fruits array, and then it prints out the fruit and the count. And I cat the fruits text, and I pipe this then to fruits.awk. So it's just like any other program. You can execute it, and it reads from standard in. There. So I know now that there are 3 oranges and 4 apples and 5 bananas in this fruits.txt file. Now, if I would like to sort this further, I would like banana to appear at the beginning here, because that's the top count. I can then pass this on to sort in the second column, and then numeric and reverse. Then I get banana at the top. This is also possible to do in awk, I'm sure, but I like to use sort for this specific use case. That's what I would like to show you today. Let's go through it again. So this here is the input file, it's a text file, and I can then iterate, let's say, so awk, you just specify an array, you don't need to initialize it up front, it will do it for you, and then you put whatever column should be the thing that you want to count. So here there was only one column, so that's $1, and then this plus plus, that you can recognize that from C and Java. Then once it's done, at the end, you can do a beautiful for loop for fruit and fruits, and then you print the count and the fruit, and you're done. It can be in its own file, and then you use this shebang awk-f. And of course, there's always more one way to do it, and sort also has some nice features, and you can also use unique-say for this particular use case. Of course, as things grow more advanced, awk shines more and more. But of course, you could add on, you could have, let's say, you could sort it first, and you can do unique-say, and then you get the same thing. Another sort, and then you have the same output that we had earlier. So there are more ways to accomplish this, but this use case illustrates awk running the main awk program, and then you have an end at the end. It is its own programming language, and the GNU awk implementation, the GNU implementation of the awk program has a lot of features, and I recommend reading this book. It's an easy read. I find it covers both sed and awk. We'll talk about sed next time. But it covers both, and it covers in a very accessible manner. There are also good user's guide on GNU.org describing awk, basic awk, and all the advanced features of GNU awk. If you are on Mac, I highly recommend that you use Brew or something else similar to install GNU awk and the other GNU tools. You get such a much more powerful shell editing environment if you use the GNU tools rather than the BSD utilities that are shipped with Mac. That's it. Next time we go through sed. I hope you enjoyed this small showcase of awk, and I will see you next time.